Welcome to this Dynamic Maps video where I'll explore the login options in MapThat Mobile. Firstly, when you open the app and from the login screen, you'll have to enter your client token, which will be unique to your organisation. That's the top option there. If we press the pencil icon, that allows us to enter our client token or edit an existing one. So I'm just going to change my token ID to be an incorrect value. And I'm going to click on the pencil again to stop editing. Then if I try to log in to MapThat Mobile, we'll get an error message telling us that we've got an invalid client token, so we need to correct that. So again, from the login screen, I'm going to choose a pencil. I'm going to correct my client token, click the pencil again to save that change. Now I've got the correct client token. What we need to do is enter our username and password as we would do in normal MapThat, and I've already got my details in here. So I'm just going to choose login. MapThat Mobile recognise that this particular user actually has a couple of roles. We can go in as an editor or as read-only. We'll have a look at that a little bit later. Let's choose the editor option. And again, just like in MapThat, if we log in with a specific role, that role might be associated to multiple projects. In this case, we've got one project and then a mobile 2 projects. Let's choose the first project, MapThat Mobile. Once it logs in, we can see we're centered over the UK. We've logged in with the editor role at the moment. So if we look down at the bottom and finger tap on our browse button and choose the layers tool, we can see these are all the layers that are associated to the editor role. Similar to how they would be in MapThat, we can cancel out of that. And because we've gone in as the editor, again, if we finger tap and then go to the drawing tools, it'll list all of the layers that this role, this editor role, can actually edit, which there's multiple ones there. So we could continue, we could start editing some layers if we wanted to. I'm going to cancel that. What I'm going to do now is we're going to log out of the system. So top right hand corner, click on the 3 dots and we're going to log out. Choose log out. That will log the user out and you come back to the login page. Okay, with the same user and password, I'm going to log in again. But this time I'm going to go in as the read-only role, so mobile read-only. Again, this role has access to 2 particular projects. We'll choose the top one, MapThat Mobile. Again, MapThat Mobile will look the same, but this time if I look at the bottom of the screen, I may have access to fewer layers, but I could have similar ones. But it might be, if I come out and have a look at the drawing tools, that maybe this role is read-only. So we'll get a message saying there's no editable layers found and we need to contact the system administrator if we want to be able to edit layers. In this case, because we're read-only, we're not going to do any editing. The other thing we might want to do is for this particular role, we might want to stay with this role, but actually open up and view a different project associated to the role. So top right hand corner in the 3 dots, instead of logging out completely, we can actually choose while we're in MapThat Mobile to change the project that we're using. So we could be out on site and want to change this to a different project. I'm going to choose MapThat Mobile 2. And while logged in with the same username and role, we've actually gone into a different project now. And if we have a look, we can see that the base mapping, or the default base mapping for this project, is actually different to the first project. We've got the OS Maps API base mapping here, whereas before it was OpenStreetMap. And it may well be that in this project we've got different layers. So I think one of the trees is missing there from our tree list. So that allows you as a user to change projects without having to log out of MapThat Mobile. Let's just cancel that and come back to the main page. Okay, let's have a look now at logging in with 2-factor authentication. So top right hand corner, first thing we'll do is we'll log out of this project with this user. Now what I've done for this particular user is I've actually turned on or enabled 2-factor authentication. So this time if we try to log in with this username, the system will recognise that we have 2-factor authentication enabled and it will send a code to the registered email address. So we'll just press OK to that. I'm going to go and pick up that code and then we simply enter it into those 4 spaces there. Notice there's a time counting down with the time you've got allotted to entering that code, or it'll go back to the login screen. So now I've retrieved that code from my email. I'm going to enter it into the boxes here. So it's a 4-digit numerical code. We'll enter those in, and once we've entered the details, we'll press continue. It'll tell us that the code is verified and successful, so that's our second step of authentication. We can then continue into choosing the role that we want and the project. So let's go back in as the editor and choose our project, and we're now into MapThat. So there's MapThat Mobile with the two-factor authentication for any of your users. Let's log back out again. And the final thing we'll look at is what happens if you've forgotten your password. Okay, from the login screen, if we've forgotten our password, just below the login button, let's choose Forgot Password. What we need to do is enter the user's details, so it sends us a 4-digit code again so we can verify that this is the correct user before we can reset their password. So let's enter the details for us as a user. If we press continue, system will check that user is valid. If not, it will return an error message. But it says they're valid and a code has been sent to their registered email address. So again, let's press OK. Again, I'm going to retrieve that code and then type it into those 4 spaces there. So I've got the code from my email. I'm going to enter the details in. Again, this allows the system to check that this is the registered user because we've got the email address registered. If we press continue, it says the code is successful. That then enables us to go to the reset password page, so we can now reset the password. If I just type a couple of values and confirm that, the first thing we'll notice if press continue is there's some security on the reset of password. So you've got to make sure you have a set number of characters. They might be special characters and capital letters, and maybe a minimum, as I said, a minimum number there. So let's put in a valid password in this case. And press continue. So if we've entered a password that meets the minimum security details, the password will be successfully reset and we can log in. So all we need to do is enter the new password into our password. Choose login. Now because this user's still got two-factor authentication on, it will send our 4-digit code to our email address. So we'll OK that and wait for the code. Then simply enter the code into the boxes. It's a numerical code. If we enter the valid code and continue, we can now log back in again choosing our role and our project. And that's how you reset your password for MapThat Mobile. Many thanks for watching this video.